welcome back on Media Scan. Viewers, just a few episodes ago, we were analyzing how some sensitive areas of the Jammu division came under terrorist attack, and especially on a day when Prime Minister Narendra Modi was about to take oath for the third time. Since then, there has been a spate of back-to-back attacks in various areas of the Jammu division. Not only is the concern about the number of the attacks, but also the fact that some of these areas, such as the Machedi-Basantgarh track, had not witnessed any terrorist activity for a very, very long time. So why is Jammu division suddenly on the target of terrorists? And is our western neighbor trying to disturb peace in the Jammu division after having failed the global narrative on Kashmir? These are the questions we'll go across through our episode today. And to discuss these, I have a panel of stalwarts with me. We have here today Lieutenant General Syed Ata Hasnan. He will be able to tell us what is behind all these attacks in the Jammu division and what can be done to counter the situation. Welcome, Ata Hasnan Sahab. Namaskar.
Thank you.
Also with us, Kamar Aga, who will also help us understand the nitty-gritties of this entire phenomenon and why Jammu is suddenly the target of these attacks. Welcome, sir.
Thank you.
And on our panel today, Rashpal Dasgotra, a field worker, a reporter, who is here not only because he has his roots in the region, which has suddenly come under attack, but also because he has been covering the area in terror and other sectors for a very long time. Welcome, Rashpal.
Thank you very much.
General Hasnan, if I may come to you first, sir. Very quickly, a straight and simple question. Why is Jammu suddenly the target of terror?
See, ma'am, the reason is very plain and simple. Terrorism will always take place there where it is possible to execute it. It is becoming much more difficult to do it in the valley area where the grid is very, very strong, where after the application of Article 370, the networks have all been neutralized. It is becoming very difficult to do terrorist activity there. But Pakistan has to find its relevance somewhere. If they don't do it, 35 years of investment is going to go waste. So obviously they are looking for fresh avenues to do it in areas where it is possible. The Jammu division has had its own dynamics. Historically, you only found the terrorist activities here between the period of about 1995 to 2010 or so. Otherwise, rest of the period, this area has been comparatively peaceful. The grid is not so strong here. The intelligence is not so strong here. The emphasis and focus has all been on the Kashmir Valley. As a result, today, with forces having been diluted, reduced, it is possible to carry out certain amount of activity here. Although I must at the same time add that the forces, the response elements have all already reinforced the area. It's a matter of time before we get hold of the situation and ensure we neutralize all these activities.
Sir, I'd like to come to Kamar Aga here. Sir, when I was reporting from J&K, I remember it was the time of the middle and late 90s. And this area which has come under attack recently, we used to report hideouts of terrorists in that sector, the Machedi, Basantgarh, and, in the upper reaches of the Udhampur district and Doda district, where these terrorists used it as a track to cross over to the other parts of Pir Panjal. But since then, this area had been relatively peaceful. As General Hasnan just pointed out, do you think the guard had been let down and therefore the report must have reached the enemies of the nation and they are now trying to disturb peace in the area, which was relatively peaceful for at least 1.5 or 2 decades?
I don't think, people were there guarding, but it's very difficult, to guard this entire area because there are lots of nalas, lots of, small ways between the two. hillocks, and the snow is melting now. They are taking advantage of coming over to this side. So they have been doing it for many years, Earlier, what they used to do, they used to infiltrate from this side and go to the valley, and sometimes from valley, they directly they used to come into the valley. Now it has become very difficult to go to the valley, as General Aslan has mentioned. So they found, it is better to operate here. Secondly, this was a message to the Prime Minister, to the government of India, that look, militancy will continue even if you join the third term. So we are not going to stop it, and we are not interested in negotiation either. For the sake of negotiation, when pressure comes on Pakistan, they definitely come and talk.
If I interrupt you for a second, sir. So we have seen, post-abrogation of Article 370, the entire global narrative pushed by Pakistan about its claims on the Kashmir Valley has been totally demolished. None of the think tanks, the experts, nobody is really talking about Pakistan's claims on Kashmir anymore. You think when that is not working, this attempt in Jammu is going to, bring any dividends to Pakistan or the other powers pushing terror?
No, they know they cannot take over. They know they cannot enter into the area. They cannot take Kashmir, merge with Pakistan. They know the purpose is two-pronged. One is to create instability. That also they have failed to achieve. Secondly, it is needed for the army to remain the most powerful institution within Pakistan. So for their survival, tension at the border, and especially we have seen whenever there is a crisis in Pakistan, they try to divert it towards India.
Yeah.
Especially sometime at the valley, sometime on the Jammu and Kashmir side. This is the general practice that has been going on for more than two decades. At the moment, Pakistan is facing serious economic, political, and all sorts of problems. Secessionist movement is becoming very strong in Balochistan and now in Fatah area, federally administered territories, which is now merged with the Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, which we used to call Northwest Frontier Province. So where the military operations are also going on simultaneously.
So diversion from all the trouble going on around the borders of Pakistan in various provinces, and the fact that they need to, justify their relevance by creating some trouble here is what I gather you are saying, sir.
Yes.
But please allow me to come to Rashpal here. Rashpal, from your reporting in the area in all these years, what do you think is different, if at all, in these recent attacks that were reported, particularly the ambush in the Basantgarh area and Riasi too? Yes.
See, I would say that, the change in the strategy, these ambush, I would say that, these ambushed are planned in a way, they are using M4 carbine with steel bullets. This particular, weapon was found in Kashmir in 2017 and 18 when nephew of Azhar Masood were eliminated. So they found, the terrorists operating in Jammu region, they have found a new way, like ambush a vehicle, kill the driver, and make maximum casualty in that particular area, and then leave that area, move into the forest area or, some hideouts close by which they have made. And this is the new trend which we have seen. See, firstly in Poonch district, the attack on Indian Air Force in December, we lost our 4 men. Then in Riasi, we lost 9 people, 9 pilgrims. And then now in Kathua, we lost 5 soldiers. And there is a similarity in these 3 attacks. The similarity is ambush, let them have maximum casualty on the other end, and there is no casualty from their side. So this is the new trend. They are disturbing the area. They are making headlines in the newspapers and news channels, and they are, there is no casualty from their end. So this is the new trend which I've seen in all these 3 attacks in Jammu region. Moreover, one more thing is there. These three areas are close to international border or line of control. So they recently enter into inside with some instruction from the other side. Maybe, see, the border is porous all along this IB and LC, the riverine beds, which were the favorite route of infiltration in the past. Yes. So if you see this Kathua district, Kathua is having lot of riverines which is on the IB and which is giving way to the terrorists to go up into the high and across Pir Panchal. This was the favorite route in the past also, but now recently they have activated all these routes to disturb this area, and this is creating a big news all around the world.
Yes. I'll come back to you, Rashpal, on some other aspects of the recent attacks. But General Hasnan, I remember, sir, when Doda was massively on the target of terror, entire Doda district, Kishtwar, Badarwa, all of it, and also the upper reaches of Udhampur district, our VDCs did a wonderful job. And of course, in the first flush, it was the VDCs who came, who came under attack before anyone else, because they formed the first line of defense. But they did not give up. And if there was a turn in the situation, it was the VDCs, the village defense committees, who must be given, who must be congratulated and complimented for the role they played. Somewhere down the line, with the situation shifting, the role of the VDCs became slightly less important, do you think? And what else, apart from strengthening the VDCs, do you think needs to be done in this situation? While we are seeing the crackdown, but possibly there has been some local support, even if it is under duress.
Smitaji, you have set up a set of very interesting questions, but let me compliment Rishpal Saab. He has made some very interesting observations too. Let me put the entire thing into perspective.
Yes, sir.
Yes, what he says, the kind of operations which are being carried out at the moment, the emphasis seems to be on ambush. And ambush is one kind of operation in which the terrorists themselves suffer very few casualties, which is a very good observation made by him. And it always happens that if there is enough strength of terrorists in a particular area, then they may go for contact with you, a direct contact with you, carry out fidayeen actions, carry out a direct meeting kind of a contact with you, and probably incur some casualties themselves and also impose casualties on you. But when the strength of terrorists is low comparatively, in this case we are assessing 25 to 30 terrorists all along the Pir Panjal only, nothing more than that. They are only indulging in ambush, and that is one of the very, very important aspects we have to keep in mind.
Sir, if I may just put a query, what would you like to say about the recent crackdown that has been, ordered in the concerned area? And there are also some arrests. So people have been picked up to examine the, possibility of local support.
Smitaji, I'll cover all this in perspective. Just in a minute, perhaps I will come back to the entire thing.
Yes, please make
this aspect of the ambush is very, very important, because what happens is mostly the vehicles which are being ambushed are logistics vehicles. You will find that vehicles which are moving singly on these tracks, 2 vehicles, 1 vehicle and things like that. Major convoys have not been really targeted, in which you have a lot of protection. One of the things that the army, the rest of the forces will have to resort to is a very regulated logistics system. So the logistics system has to be put into gear properly to make sure that you don't have infructuous everyday kind of movement taking place when giving targets to the terrorists to kind of target, right? The second thing which you have asked is about the VDCs. The heyday of terrorism in the Doda area, in the Kishtwar area too, to some extent, was dependent we were dependent hugely on the presence of the VDCs. There were not enough troops. In fact, the expansion of the Rashtra Rifles only took place in 2001. Before that, all this area had VDCs, and a grid of VDCs was established at that time. Now, as terror died out in this region, and it only remained focused in the Kashmir Valley, you found that the requirement to have these VDCs was not really felt. And as a result, they were not trained, they were not given weapons and ammunition and things like that. Today, this whole thing has come back in a completely different cycle. And obviously, therefore, a lot of focus has to come back to it because we are reinforcing these areas with additional troops. And the VDCs continue to remain our eyes and ears in this area. The importance of the VDCs can never be discounted as such. You had one more question to me. Could you just repeat that question, ma'am?
About possibility of local support, sir, briefly.
Yeah, so absolutely. Local support is here in some form or the other. A lot of people ask me this question that this is a Hindu-dominated area. How can the Muslim terrorists from Pakistan who have come in find the sustenance here? Well, this is mixed. If you can really say it is not a 100% Hindu area. There are a lot of Gujar families in this area too. And over a period of time, some kind of contact, some kind of a system has been established. Probably the grid which the terrorists had established never diluted completely. So an odd system of support is there. These terrorists can survive on very little.
So,
they just need sugar paras and a little bit of rice and something like that to survive.
Yes.
So
Point taken, sir.
Yeah.
And so that is why, repeated attacks in the Jammu division causes worry. Because unlike the Kashmir Valley today, Jammu division has a mixed population of Hindus, Muslims, Sikhs, and a small number of Christians also in the urban pockets. But allow me to come to Kamar Aga here. Sir, very quickly, General Hasnan has explained to us the logistic and operational perspective, the issues involved. But certainly there is politics too here. And I am worried that in a matter of a few months, very soon in fact, we will be preparing for elections in Jammu and Kashmir. Now, seeing the elections being on the pipeline, how do you see the social impact of these attacks? Because some concern has been raised about some communal reactions happening or some conflagration owing to, if pilgrims are attacked again and again. So there is certainly some political worry involved.
There are a number of things. Yes, you're right. The communal polarization. This is one of the major objectives of these militants. Second, we'll have to take not only local measures, to take proactive measures. We have to deploy before election. At least we should deploy even before that large number of troops at the border. That would disturb their operations in the particularly in Balochistan and other places, because in that case then Pakistan will also have to deploy forces on our side. Pakistan's tactics is they want peace in this area. They don't want to disturb a large number major operation at the border, by fighting or anything. And then they will, so that they can concentrate on Khyber Pakhtunkhwa or Balochistan, occupied Kashmir. That is what's going on. So need is, two levels we have to fight. One, we have to maintain communal amity. We have to talk to the local people, because large number of people in Jammu and Kashmir, both the region, are sick and tired of militants.
Yes.
They want peace. They have not made any noises when Article 370 was abrogated. So they want peace. They want so two levels. One at the level of within the Jammu and Kashmir region. Secondly, at least some proactive measures should be taken at the border itself. They have to pay costs for it. Otherwise, this sort of activity will continue for longer.
Right. Point taken, sir. General Hasnan, a very straight and pointed question, sir. From the operational point of view, first this was spoken in informal, casual terms, but now I have seen a statement on record by Dr. Karan Singh about this. This fact about the areas beyond the Akhnur, the Chenab region, having now been included in the Western Command, there are demands that this might not have been such a well-thought decision. And there is a demand now to put them back under the Northern Command as it used to be. You think that is any issue?
Smita ji, yes, this is again a very interesting issue. Let me take you back to 2004. This actually happened in 2004.
Yes.
We have always felt that 16 Corps and Nagrota based Corps was extended from Poonch right up to Pathankot and Mamoon and those areas. It was a very, very wide deployment. 9 almost divisions were deployed under one corps. And that was the time when it was decided to create 9 corps, which is at Yol, as you're aware. And the Western Command was made in charge of the area up to just short of Akhnoor.
Yes.
No, what has happened is for conventional operations, this is very, very good, I would say. I would fully go along with this arrangement. But when it comes to counter-terrorism and counter-insurgency operations, I am afraid having an inter-command boundary running through the region which is under focus of terrorists at the moment is not very conducive to a good operational efficiency.
So
this will have to be rethought about completely.
Putting them under Nagarota Corps back as it used to be may be a wiser move. Is that what you're saying, sir?
Well, there is also a recommendation that it can continue to remain in conventionally under the two formations, that is 9 and 16 Corps in the Western Command and Northern Command. But for operational counter-terrorism purposes, all this area should come under 16 Corps and Northern Command.
Okay, interesting. But Absa, I have just time left for maybe one quick question. I'll come to Rashpal here. Rashpal, there are socio-economic aspects also. I'm not saying one stray attack can have an impact, but when there are back-to-back impacts and as a result an area becomes disturbed, then it can have other repercussions. What, from your experience, you having your paternal home there and having observed the changes through the years, what would you say can be the socio-economic impact if these attacks along the highway and in the more interior regions of Udhampur area continue, and even now Kathua?
See, if we see the economy of Jammu, it is mostly backed by the pilgrimage of Vaishno Devi and attack on pilgrims in Riyasi, and now this attack close to National Highway, that is Kathua. When anybody goes from Delhi to Vaishno Devi, he knows that he is crossing through Kathua. They doesn't know the boundaries of Kathua, how broad this region is. But the thing is, this particular shrine, in 2007, the study was conducted that it is having estimated 75 lakh pilgrims every year. And a small town, Katra, was getting almost 5,000 crore of income from the pilgrims, and about 30,000 people were getting jobs from the pilgrimage in Katra. But if you expand it, like from Jammu till Punjab, the number was so high at that moment of time. And now, into 2020.
And this was 2007.
It was in 2007. After 2007, then no study was conducted. It was conducted by IIT Delhi at that moment of time. See, the amount of pilgrims which are coming over there and amount of money they are spending, because they are not visiting Vaishno Devi now. In 2007, they were visiting only Vaishno Devi. But now they are visiting, Shiv Khodi or other places close to Jammu. So the impact, the aim of this attack was to impact on the economy of the state by disturbing this particular area, particularly Jammu region, because Jammu region is not having other alternates. The people of Jammu either join the defense forces, army, or they have this dependent upon pilgrimage of Vaishno Devi for their survival.
Rashpal, I'm afraid we'll have to put a stop to this conversation here. But thank you very much for bringing all those issues on the table. And General Hasnan, always so gracious to join us whenever we have requested. Thank you, sir, for your long experience and perspective on this very sensitive issue. Kamar Aga Sahab, thank you for joining at such a short notice and explaining the international perspective of the whole phenomenon. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Viewers, with the Pakistan narrative exploding totally, not only in the Kashmir Valley, but internationally, our enemies of the nation are now looking for new areas in order to keep rocking the boat and create an impression that entire Jammu Kashmir is a disturbed area and that there is support for anti-India propaganda in those areas. However, our army, the security forces, have conducted massive crackdowns, and very soon we will see that this new experiment or this expansion of terrorist activity will be nipped in the bud. On this positive note, it's a wrap-up on Media Scan for this weekend. Do join us next weekend with another issue of national importance. Till then, namaskar.